China is inviting 500 Taiwan veterans to visit, but the government here is telling them not to go. Drought in southern Taiwan pushes authorities to redirect water from the country's second largest river.
I'm in Taipei's Xinyi district, where hundreds of people stood up for the 2023 Suit Walk.
Plus, Taiwan strikes out of the world's largest baseball tournament. But what does it mean for the future of the country's national team? A warm welcome to TaiwanPlus News. I'm Betty Chen. Online rumors claim that Beijing wants hundreds of Taiwan's veterans to attend a military academy anniversary event in China. Officials here are urging veterans not to attend. Eric Gao reports.
Don't go to China. That's the message from Taiwan's Veteran Affairs Ministry to retired soldiers. It comes as reports surface online that China wants 500 Taiwanese veterans to attend events marking the 99th anniversary of a military academy. Beijing claims Taiwan as its own, and officials here say this invitation is part of United Front unification tactics.
少数黄埔先进却因为贪图落地招待等蝇头小利，落入中共的统战圈套。
The Huangpu Military Academy is marking its 99th anniversary in June. It was founded in 1924 under the leadership of Republic of China founder Sun Yat-sen. After the Chinese Civil War, the nationalist government relocated the academy to Kaohsiung in southern Taiwan. Since then, the original has only been used as a propaganda tool by the Chinese Communist Party.
我们是正统，那一些留在大陆的，大概都是腹诽的或是投降的分子，忠贞的都到台湾来了。
While officials are urging veterans not to go, the government has no way to enforce this as a rule, and therefore isn't technically able to do anything to stop them.
如果真的要到大陆去，那不要做出让国人非常伤心或者是愤怒的事情。
This online recruitment drive for Taiwan's veterans supposedly closes at the end of March. The government here is looking into who is behind the plan and who's funding it. Meanwhile, Taiwan is planning its own commemorative events for Huangpu Academy, which will celebrate its 100th anniversary next year. Chen, Sam Hui, and Eric Gao for TaiwanPlus.
A Taiwanese soldier who went missing from the outlying islands of Jinmen is confirmed to be in China. The soldier was reported missing from his post on Jinmen's Erdan Island last week. Erdan lies just 4 kilometers from the Chinese coast. Reports emerged on Friday that the soldier may have swum to China. Taiwan's government has now confirmed this. The head of Taiwan's top body overseeing relations with China, Chiu Tai-san, said they had received confirmation over the weekend. But Chiu did not comment on if or when the soldier would be returned to Taiwan, saying only that Chinese authorities are still investigating the matter. Chinese leader Xi Jinping says China opposes what he calls separatist activities aimed at Taiwan independence. Xi also promised to promote China's military modernization. He made a comment on Monday in his closing speech at the annual meeting of China's parliament, the National People's Congress. On Sunday, China named its new cabinet. This marked the end of a government reshuffle. Earlier, the Congress approved Xi Jinping as president for a third 5-year term. North Korea launched 2 strategic cruise missiles from a submarine on Sunday. That's according to state media. Reports show that the missiles were launched from waters off the east coast of Korea. They reportedly hit targets around 1,500 kilometers away. North Korea says the tests demonstrate its underwater offensive operations. The missiles were launched the day before the U.S. and South Korea began their largest joint military exercises in 5 years. The drills, called Freedom Shield 23, will last 11 days and will involve a combination of bombers and fighter jets. Southern Taiwan is facing a historic drought. As levels drop in the area's biggest river, authorities are channeling water to help local farmers. Stash Butler has this report.
This rice field in southern Taiwan looks lush enough, but a closer look and the effects of drought become clear. The farmer here in Qishan is digging wells to beat the dry spell. He says finding water is tough at the best of times.
正常有水的时候就已经抢不到水了，缺水的时候更抢不到，就抽井水啊，不然就从另外口外的水把下游的引上来。
Qishan is in Kaohsiung, one of 4 areas in southern Taiwan facing a drought. Farmers in this part of the country rely on water from the Gaoping, Taiwan's second biggest river. But that river is drying up. The Gaoping just had its driest January on record, and March is looking even worse. Officials say they're laying pipes to bring water from the neighboring county, Pingdong.
高屏溪川流水因为久旱不雨，所以逐步的一个减少。那为因未来的一个用水需求，所以我目前就是以多调水的方式，从屏东地区的加工出口园区调既有的水井，然后把它送到高雄市。
Those pipes should be completed by the end of April. But environmentalists say the bigger issue for farmers is local industry taking water intended for public use, effectively cutting in line in front of the agricultural sector.
旱灾来的时候，既然公共用水都比农业用水优先，那所以公共用水里面的，不管你是民生的，还是工业区的，还是科学园区的，就通通一起比农业用水优先。那这个我们是认为是有问题的啦。
Pipes or no pipes, Taiwan's south simply isn't getting enough rain. That's partly down to human-caused climate change, which is making the yearly rains more unpredictable in South and East Asia. In Taiwan, authorities hope temporary measures can beat the drought until heavy rains, which are expected to arrive around May. And for farm workers in the area, the sooner that rain comes, the better. Leon Lian and Stash Butler for TaiwanPlus.
Overfishing has become a major concern in Taiwan. That's according to a new survey by environmentalist groups. Following the UN's recent move to protect global marine biodiversity, local activists are pushing the government to pass a domestic marine conservation act that keeps up with international trends. Yu Jinhuang reports.
This mock fishmonger's stand outside the top Taiwan government building shows a stark contrast. On display are 6 types of fish that are common in local fish markets. The cardboard ones on the left are the sizes of these fish in the 1990s, while the real ones on the right show how small they are today. These showcase a study by Greenpeace and other marine researchers, who collected more than 1,700 specimens around Taiwan. They found more than 70% of these fish hadn't reached sexual maturity. Activists say this is due to overfishing, which threatens marine biodiversity around Taiwan's waters.
白鲳、青鱼，然后码头，这些其实都是超过90%的被捕捞上来的，它没有机会繁殖下一代，没有机会进入延续它的族群这一件事情，所以这是非常不永续的。
Environmentalists are now demanding Taiwan pass a Marine Conservation Act, joining a global effort to secure ocean sustainability. In early March, the UN finalized an agreement on protecting biodiversity in international waters. The new treaty aims to cover at least 30% of oceans by 2030. Preventing biodiversity loss is one of its main goals. But activists say in order to work, this needs to be a true global effort.
所以海洋保育法在这里，它所扮演的重要的角色是让所有的海洋保护区可以被扩大，可以被有效的管理。海洋保护区的生态健康了，生态好了，鱼群自然会聚集，聚集之后会外溢。
The government says a bill designed to protect Taiwan's marine biodiversity has already been reviewed. It will be sent to lawmakers for approval during the current legislative session. Environmental groups say they will monitor the bill's progress to see if these promises will turn into action. Ethan Pan and Yu Jinhuang for TaiwanPlus.
A rare shark has been found for sale at a fish market in Taiwan. A fisher had caught the shark and handed over to a market in East Taiwan for auction. A sharp-eyed fishmonger realized it was a rare type of shark, a bow-mouthed guitarfish. They're listed as critically endangered internationally, but not protected in Taiwan. The fishmonger bid nearly $100 for the shark and then released it back into the ocean. Coming up, the star-studded Asian Film Awards makes a glamorous comeback in Hong Kong. Stay tuned.
Hello and welcome to Taiwan Talks. I'm Inka Vat.
This very aggressive form of cultural revolution-like politics in China seems to be moving forward in this modern era.
This grave injustice is happening.
I think Xi Jinping will not give up his ambition.
We need that kind of mindset to prepare for the warfare.
What implications does this have on Taiwan and the region as a whole?
Just like Ukraine right now, you need people to understand we're doing this for our own country.
Reaffirmed our support for the Taiwanese ability to make their own decisions about their own future.
It's very hard to duplicate in the short time. Taiwan still can continue being the leading position if we put efforts on R&D.
And you are riding on a wave. This is exactly the time you need to double down.
I did not realize I am actually running to be the first Asian woman in the state senate. Our next generation, they can see Asian American is as equal and have the same platform.
Taiwan Talks provides a platform for the voices and perspectives that are shaping our country.
I'm Leslie Liao in Vilnius, Lithuania, and this is TaiwanPlus News, the voice of freedom in Asia.
Welcome back. You're watching TaiwanPlus News. Customers of the failed U.S. bank Silicon Valley Bank have been told they will be able to access their deposits starting on Monday. U.S. regulators shut down SVB on Friday in what's become the largest bank failure since the 2008 global financial crisis. Taiwan's exposure to the collapse is limited. The country's financial regulator says the only investments that would have been affected are mutual funds managed by Taiwanese firms. Those amount to about $10 million US. What's in a name? Well, quite a lot. Take Japan, for example. Since 2020, Japan has placed the family name first on documents, even the English version, asking the world to follow suit. And now TaiwanPlus will switch the order it uses to write and pronounce Japanese names. As John Van Trieste reports, it's a tough change, even for some Japanese people.
For a century and a half, people in Japan have had it drilled into them that in English, they should write their given name before their family name, the opposite order from Japanese. That's the result of heavy influence from the West. In 2000, Japan's National Language Council tried, but failed, to stop this practice. But in 2019, the cabinet of Prime Minister Abe Shinzo came out with this announcement.
文部科学大臣から今後政府の作成する公文書等において日本人の姓名をローマ字により表記する際には原則として姓名の順で表記がされるよう取り扱いを定めていただきたい旨の発言がありました。
They asked foreign media to switch the order of Japanese names in their reporting too, and the date they chose for the new policy to begin was January 1st, 2020.
Japan was to have the 2020 Tokyo Olympic Game. So they actually brought up this issue once again. And the former Minister of Foreign Affairs, Kono, at that time, proposed that we should really take this opportunity to change the format of Japanese names.
The Japanese Prime Minister's office says the change reflects a growing global awareness of the importance of cultural and linguistic diversity. But it seems that not everyone in Japan got the memo.
正直、今回こういうお話もらって、このニュースは初めて知りました。
And so there have been some costly mishaps.
私の友人が去年エアチケットを買った時にちゃんとサーネームとギブンネームの表記を見ないで今まで通り名前姓で買ったところそのままエアチケットを乗れると思って 空港に行ったら却下されたんですね。それで飛行機に結局乗れなかったんです。
So 3 years on, how do Japanese people feel about the change?
いいことだなと思います。なぜかというと、日本人はもともと姓名前でその順番が慣れてるので、その順番で書かれてるのを見たときにすごく自然な感じがしますし、親近感が出るかなと思います。
私たちの年齢だと難しいと思います。
The English language media is still getting used to the change too. When the late Prime Minister Abe Shinzo was assassinated last year, many reports looked back on the life of Shinzo Abe instead.
The former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has died.
And former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has died in the hospital.
Young and old, they've come to pay their respects to former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe.
TaiwanPlus reported it this way too.
Former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has died after being shot at a campaign rally in the western city of Nara.
As you can see with this report, we are already following the Japanese request to put family names first, but with a few exceptions. People like Naomi Osaka, Yoko Ono, and others who either choose to present their names in the Western order or have built a personal brand with their names written that way. It's the same thing we do for a few Taiwanese names. For example, we say director Ang Lee instead of the An, as Taiwanese people know him in Mandarin. Now, it's going to take some adjustment, but some, like our Japanese teachers from earlier, believe the switch will catch on, as a younger generation learns that in any language, the family comes first. Damon Lin and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan has thanked its fans after being eliminated from the World Baseball Classic on Sunday. Taiwan finished with 2 wins and 2 losses, the same record as all the teams in the first pool, but it finished last in a group after giving up the most runs. Cuba and Italy advanced to the next round. The lone bright spot for Team Taiwan was infielder Chen winning MVP for the first pool. Chen had 7 hits and 2 home runs. He plays in the U.S. Major Leagues and was recently signed by the Boston Red Sox. For more on Taiwan's run in the World Baseball Classic, Bing Wang spoke to Jackie Lee, a Taiwanese baseball broadcaster.
What were some of the bright spots of Taiwan's run this year?
First of all, definitely Yu Chen, Zhang Yuchen. He hit very well in this tournament and actually got the MVP for Pool A section, right? So he played very well and he hit a lot of extra base hits, including crucial home runs. And he's definitely the brightest spot on this Taiwanese team in this tournament and in the 4 games that we participated in.
It's not often that we hear a lot of world baseball commentators talk about Taiwan. What made Taiwan so special this year?
I believe the passion of the fans also helped out the team to perform better. It's been 10 years since the last time we host one of the pool of the WBC. And I think it's very important because we host the games here and the fans here can actually go to the stadium to cheer for the national team. That means a lot to both our fans and the players. There is cheerleading group. There's a cheerleader leading everyone. And we have songs for every player. And when the home team is on the offense, when they are taking the bat, they play loud music, and their cheerleading group is very, active. They dance, they shout, they sing.
Who do you think is going to win the World Baseball Classic this year?
This is a very tough one. You threw me a curveball. I believe it's gonna to be Venezuela. It's just based on the recent performance. It is very unpredictable in this event, as we can see from Pool A, and also the recent performance from the United States and Venezuela and Dominican Republic. The U.S. just lost to Mexico, so it is very hard to predict. But the depth of the player depth of the Venezuela national team really impressed me, and I believe they can take home the trophy of this tournament.
That was Jackie Lee speaking to Bing Wang. Hundreds of people showed up in Taipei's Xinyi district for a very special event on Saturday. Our reporter Yvonne Yang was there to check out the fancy suits on display.
I'm walking on the street in Taipei's Xinyi district. You may wonder, have I stumbled into a massive fashion show? But no, this is the 2023 Suit Walk. And as you can see, attendees are showing off their unique outfits. It's the 10th anniversary of the GQ Suit Walk. The organizer hosts the event to promote suit culture, encouraging people to wear suits in their daily lives. It's the first walk since the COVID mask mandate was lifted, but one participant decided to wear one anyway.
3年前参加苏walk的时候，就是那一届就因为疫情开始，然后就要戴口罩，我就想说戴这个面罩也是口罩一种。
This year's walk had the most attendees in its history. Celebrities from Taiwan and across Asia joined the event. Korean singer and actor Ok Tae-yeon is the international ambassador for this year's event. Here's his take on suits.
Well, every time I put on a suit, it's more like putting on an armor when you're going in a battle. So right now I feel very powerful and strong, and I can do whatever that you guys ask me to do.
Other than the walk itself, there were a few photo hotspots designed just for the event. An old-school barber, a bar, and a fortune-telling stall. There was also a gentleman's market with everything you need to be a gentleman. That said, the suit walk wasn't just for men. There were men in suits, children in suits, and even dogs in suits. And of course, women in suits. Several female attendees were there, rocking their outfits.
我今天的造型是就是以一个比较混搭的感觉，然后就是走比较运动风嘛，有一点运动混搭的感觉，对，然后就是以比较夏天的色系为主。
The 2023 Suit Walk proves that suits aren't just for gentlemen, but for all genders and all ages. Kamashi and Yvonne Yang for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching TaiwanPlus News. Finally today, we leave you with images of Hollywood stars walk a champagne-colored carpet at the Oscars. I'm Betty Chen. Take care and see you next time.